Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place that takes your sources and, well, really unpacks them for the most fascinating insights.
That's right.
And today, we're embarking on a journey, a really interesting one, into a concept that's, captivated people forever: time travel.
Always a big topic.
Definitely. But we're not looking at it through the, let's say, the usual lens, science fiction, theoretical physics. That's not our focus today.
No, today's different.
Exactly. Our mission for this deep dive is to explore the spiritual dimensions of time travel. We're drawing specifically from the teachings of a spiritual guide, Sheikh Nurjan Miramati, and particularly what he calls the reality of folding time and space.
And what's, I think, really intriguing here is how this perspective just completely redefines our understanding of time itself.
Right.
It moves way beyond the physical limits we usually perceive. It's suggesting not just changing where you are or when you are, but a really profound shift in how we actually interact with reality.
That's precisely why this grabbed us. So for you, our listener, if you've ever sort of pondered the true nature of time...
Which, who hasn't?
Exactly. Or maybe how spiritual insights might unlock these realities beyond our everyday experience. Well, you're definitely in for some thought-provoking stuff today.
Absolutely.
Let's really try and unpack this reality of folding time and space.
Let's do it.
Okay, so, to start, the source material mentions a direct question was put to the spiritual guide. A simple one, really. Is time travel possible?
And the answer given, just straight out, of course it is.
No hesitation.
None. And that immediately introduces this core concept, the reality of folding time and space. It's framed not as some, maybe or what if, but as an inherent possibility, part of spiritual understanding.
Okay, so here's where it gets, for me, really interesting. The spiritual guide describes time as, quote, a constant, and he likens it to a page on a book.
A powerful metaphor.
It really is. Can you maybe elaborate on what that means for us? Like, if every moment is a page,
Yeah.
does it just vanish?
Right.
Or,
Well, if we connect that to the bigger picture he paints, it suggests something quite profound about permanence. Every single moment, every second you experience is like an eternal page in this vast book.
eternal.
Yes. It doesn't just disappear into the past, into nothingness. It simply shifts relative to our current point of awareness.
So it's still there.
It implies all moments, past, present, future, exist. Kind of simultaneously in this continuous record. Like a library where every now is always there on its shelf, its own page.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So if time is like this book, this library with eternal pages, how does someone really, move through these pages? The guide says it happens in the world of light.
Right, the world of light. That sounds quite mystical, doesn't it?
It does.
And it brings up a really important point about what are we? What's the deeper nature of our being? The guide explains that this movement, whether you're going backwards or forwards through these time pages, happens by accessing our world of light.
A world of light.
It's not a physical trip. It's more like a shift in consciousness, a shift in our state of being. And crucially, he says this requires permission from Allah Almighty.
Okay, so divine permission is key. And just for clarity for our listeners, Allah Almighty is the term used here for God, the supreme being, in the Islamic tradition this guide draws from.
Precisely. It's central to the understanding.
And tied into this, the spiritual understanding is the idea of the duality of light for a believer. That we exist as both a particle and a wave.
Yes. Which sounds very...
Freedom physics, right?
Exactly. It's a fascinating bridge. Our particle reality, as the guy describes it, is our physical body. The tangible form we see and interact with, limited by space and linear time.
Your physical self.
Right. But our wave reality,
Yeah.
that's different. That's our essence, our light. And the guide says this light is emanating everywhere in this time, from the beginning of time, our light, to the end of time, that light.
Everywhere. Across all time.
Think about that. It's like our particle self is just one point on the timeline, maybe.
Yeah.
But our wave reality, our light essence, it resonates across the entire spectrum of time. It's our timeless aspect, already present.
So if our light, our wave self, is already spread across all of time, what's the practical key then? How do we actually reach this world of light and consciously move through those pages? What unlocks it?
Well, the guide is quite clear on this. He emphasizes that the path to reaching that world of light involves needing to free ourselves from the world of form.
Free ourselves from the physical.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Transcending the limitations, the attachments of our physical particle self. And this freedom, he says, is achieved through dedicated spiritual practices.
Spiritual practices.
Right. Things that refine our inner being, purify our intentions, deepen that connection to the divine. It's about making that wave reality more accessible, letting our consciousness expand beyond just the here and now.
Okay. And this ability, this reality of folding time and space, it's also mentioned in a specific context, isn't it? Regarding divine timing and purpose.
It is, yes. The guide points out that Allah Almighty will reveal this profound reality for a figure known as Sayyidina Mahdi in the last days.
Sayyidina Mahdi. For listeners maybe not familiar, he's a revered figure in Islamic eschatology, often linked to a future time of justice and spiritual renewal.
Exactly. So linking this ability to him suggests it has a very specific, divinely intended purpose. It's not just, a skill anyone can develop for kicks. It's tied to a larger plan.
And for a believer who's on the spiritual path, does this mean they could potentially move with, divine intention and support?
That's precisely the implication. The guide highlights that by invoking in the name of Allah Almighty, the most compassionate, the most merciful, a believer can, quote, step and to move to wherever dimension Allah Almighty want and whatever location Allah Almighty want for them.
Wow.
It really emphasizes a journey guided entirely by divine will. It's about surrender and trust in a higher purpose, not about individual desire or, trying to manipulate time with tech.
Which brings up the contrast, doesn't it, with how popular culture usually portrays time travel. The guide actually mentions movies, like Tenet.
He does.
Yeah.
And he says that what's understood in films like that is, quote, a little bit, but they don't understand it.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. And the key missing piece, he explains, is that they don't put an account in their knowledge to Allah Almighty.
So it comes back to that divine connection.
That's the absolute core distinction from this spiritual viewpoint.
Yeah.
Time isn't just some physical thing humans can eventually figure out how to manipulate with machines or complex physics. It's understood as a creation of Allah Almighty.
So interacting with it deeply requires
a spiritual connection. Divine permission, not just human ingenuity. It's really a journey into your inner reality, not just tinkering with outer space or technology. And it also suggests maybe this isn't about changing the past, but about being present within those eternal moments.
Okay, so boiling it down, instead of complex machines or worrying about, grandfather paradoxes, this spiritual perspective says every single moment is an eternal page, always existing. And through a deep spiritual connection, by becoming freed from physicality, one can essentially be present at any of these pages.
That's it. It's a profound reframing.
It really is.
It completely shifts the paradigm.
Yeah.
The true understanding, or maybe the true interaction with time, isn't found in external tech or intellectual puzzles. It's about inner spiritual growth and aligning with divine will. It's basically an invitation to cultivate an inner reality that can transcend the limits we normally perceive around linear time.
What a truly mind-expanding deep dive this has been. We've really looked at time travel not as, the sci-fi trope, but as a potential spiritual reality.
Rooted in these specific teachings of Sheikh Nurjad Mirammati.
Exactly. From time being like a book with eternal pages to this idea of our own light, our wave reality, already emanating through all moments. It just opens up incredible possibilities for how we view our existence, our place in time.
Yeah, and I think the core takeaway, especially for you listening, is that getting access to these deeper realities, this world of light where this reality of folding time and space might manifest. It's all tied intricately to our spiritual practices, our connection with Allah Almighty. It really challenges us to look within, doesn't it? To understand our own wave reality rather than just looking outward for answers about something as fundamental as time.
So what does all this mean for you then, as someone perhaps interested in New Age spiritual insights, exploring consciousness?
Yeah.
Maybe the next time you think about time, about the clock ticking, you'll consider these deeper, more luminous dimensions. Could focusing on your own spiritual journey, understanding your own inner light, actually be the key? The key to unlocking an understanding of time that's just far beyond what you previously imagined.
It's definitely something transformative to ponder, isn't it? As you navigate the eternal pages of your own unfolding reality.